Hello and welcome to a double prediction video of League 1 and 2. Last night's action on Tuesday night. This will be out on Friday when you see this, as I am away from tomorrow onwards. So yeah, we've got League 2 and League 1 predictions to do. So yeah, let's just dive straight into them right now. So into League 2 we go then, and the 12:30 kickoffs, and it has been back-to-back defeats for Newport County recently after they lost to Salford City Tuesday night and lost to Grimsby at last weekend, of course. MK Dons drawing with Crawley, who have got their first point on the board now for Scott Lindsay's side in that one. They always seem to do okay against the Dons, don't they, the MK Dons? Last time these sides played in League 2 was a whopping 6-3 win for Newport, 0-0 draw back at Stadium MK. MK Dons 1-2, drawn 2 to start the season. Are kind of underperforming a tiny little bit, but yeah, I think they'll be looking to win this one. Newport on 4 points as of now, of course. So they will be looking to win this and get promoted, and I think the MK Dons will win this. I think they'll Newport do look a little bit weaker after those back-to-back defeats to Grimsby and Salford. I am back in the MK Dons to win this by 2-1 away from home and get over the line against Newport County in this one. And yeah, MK Dons to win this by 2-1 here over Newport. Into the other 12:30 kickoff, and it is Walsall taking on Salford City. Walsall losing to Grimsby last time out, of course. Very unfortunate win for them, but they did beat Barnet at the Hive on the weekend, of course. Salford did beat Newport last night, back-to-back wins for them over Accrington in there as well. They've also beaten Notts County in the league, only loss coming at Crewe. Very good stuff for Salford City, 9 points, 3 wins out of 4 so far, not bad at all from them. Last time these sides played last season was a 2-2 draw back on the 1st of February, and then a 2-0 win for Walsall on the 21st of September. Salford do look really good. I think they'll definitely be pushing for those playoffs this year. You would imagine Salford City to be in and amongst them. Walsall maybe the same, but after the loss to Grimsby, a bit of a disappointing loss, they'll be looking to do a bit better than that. I'm going to back a draw in this one. I'm going to back a 1-1 scrappy 1-1 draw for Matt Sadler's and Carl Robinson sides respectively in this one. So yeah, back in a 1-1 draw between Walsall and Salford. And then to the Wham Stadium as Accrington Stanley take on Grimsby Town, of course, at the Wham Stadium. Accrington will be looking to win this after a disappointing defeat to Salford City at the weekend. They didn't play midweek, of course, because they had that Tranmere Burton game in the cup that was postponed. I think they were due to play Tranmere Rovers. Grimsby did beat Walsall. They've got 1-3 on the bounce in terms of cup action as well. Shrewsbury, Newport and Walsall did come back brilliantly against Harrogate in there as well just before that. Last time they played head-to-head was on New Year's Day. New Year's Day was a 3-2 win for Accrington, and then a 5-2 win back at Blundell Park in that one. I'm going to back Grimsby in this one to get over the line. I think David Artell's side very, very good at the moment. Only 2 points dropped so far this season, and only 2 points off Crewe, who have maximum points. So yeah, going to back the Mariners to win this one. I'm going for a nice 1-0 away win for Grimsby Town in this one to beat Accrington Stanley. So yeah, Grimsby to win 1-0 away at Accrington Stanley here. Bristol Rovers got their first point of the season last night at home to Oldham, of course. So yeah, Cambridge United will be looking to win their next game after doing a really good job away at Colchester United by 2-1 last night, of course. They did draw against Harrogate on the weekend, maybe a bit of a 2-drop points for them there. Last time they did play in League 1 last season was 1-0 away win at the Abbey for Bristol Rovers, and then a 2-0 win back in August 2024. They also played in the AFL Cup this year, 2-0 win for Cambridge over at Darrell Clark. Bristol Rovers, Cambridge definitely look the better relegated side out of these two so far. Bristol Rovers only on a point at the moment, just outside that bottom two. Cheltenham and Shrewsbury look like they're really struggling as well. I am going to back a draw in this one. I think it'd be fairly tight. I think Bristol Rovers and Cambridge will get a draw in this one. I think it'd be a 1-1 draw between these two sides. I think Cambridge have started okay. Bristol Rovers just need to get a bit better in terms of getting up the points on the board. So yeah, a 1-1 draw between these two seems fair, and that's what I'm going for here. Cheltenham take on Barnet now then. Barnet will be looking to continue their form after beating Swindon Town in a brilliant victory for them last night, of course. Very good win over Ian Holloway side. Cheltenham still got their first goal of the season, apart from if you don't include the Carabao Cup. 5-0 loss to MK Dons on the weekend. Still a 2-1 loss, though, to Bromley last night, of course. But last time they did play in League 2 was in January 2018 at Cheltenham's home ground, which is the Charge Point Stadium, and it was a 1-1 draw, 2-0 win for Cheltenham back in Barnet in December 2017. I'm going to back. What do I back in this one? I think Cheltenham have to get off the line with some sort of points. We know Barnet haven't been great this season. They're up to 17th now in the table with 3 points, of course. I'm going to back Barnet in this one. I just think they might have too much quality over Cheltenham again. I'm going to back them by 2-1 away from home. Scrappy, but I think they'll get it over the line. And Dean Brennan's side can move onwards and upwards. And get on 6 points. Cheltenham, more misery though for them. 2-1 away win for Barnet here. Colchester versus Barrow then. Colchester losing at home, which was surprising last night at home to Cambridge United. Harrogate did beat Barrow. Barrow don't look the greatest side under Andy Wing this season. I thought they would have been a little bit better. They have beaten Notts County in there only the last narrowly to Preston in the Carabao Cup, but they've lost to MK Dons as well. Colchester beat Shrewsbury. I think this is be a fair last time they played last season was on the final day of the League 2 season, was a 0-0 draw, and then back in November it's a 1-1 draw, so maybe this game is screaming a draw and maybe a Barrow win in this one. Yeah, I think this one's going to be another draw in my opinion. I think this could be a bit of another scrappy affair. I'm going to back another 1-1 draw here. I think this will be another really tight matchup between these two sides, and yeah, I think Colchester, after that loss to Cambridge, the Cowley brothers will want to get them well drilled for the next game, and that's what they're going to do here, but I don't think it's going to be enough to win. I think it'll be a 1-1 draw. Crawley versus Tranmere now. Crawley got their first point on the board by drawing at home to MK Dons. A very decent point for them to start the season off, of course. Tranmere Rovers drawing with Burton last night, and Burton winning on penalties, of course. So midweek games in different competitions for both of these sides. Tranmere did draw against Gillingham on the weekend, battered Shrewsbury before that. So maybe you could say Tranmere are slight favourites coming into this match, of course. But yeah, last time they have played was in League 2 in 23-24. Was a 3-2 win for Crawley over Tranmere, and then a 3-1 win back at Prenton Park for Crawley. So yeah, they've got a decent head-to-head record against Tranmere. Do Crawley, I think they're going to pick up the first home points, and I'll go back Crawley to win this by 2-0 over Tranmere in this one, and get over the line. So yeah, back in Crawley to win by 2-0 over Tranmere here. Fleetwood take on an out-of-form Oldham. Oldham kind of underwhelmed a little bit so far after coming up from the National League. Both National League promoted sides have been a bit underwhelming since coming up. Maybe they can do a bit better in this next bit of the chunk of the season, of course. Fleetwood losing to Crewe, having a heavy defeat to Crewe as well by 4-1 in that one. Did draw 2-2 away at Bromley and 2-2 away at Barnsley, losing on penalties in that one. They did beat Bristol Rovers and Barnet in their first two matches, so they've had an okay start, but are still sitting 10th in the table. Last time they did play was in League 1 in the 2017-18 season, was a 2-2 draw at Fleetwood, and then 2-1 win away for Fleetwood as well. Got a pretty decent record. Oldham over Fleetwood, 5 wins, 2 draws and 3 losses, so they have the better of the head-to-heads. Don't think they're going to have the better of the head-to-heads in this one. I think Fleetwood are going to win this quite comfortably. I'm going to go for a nice 2-0 home win for Fleetwood in this one over Oldham Athletic, and just to get over the line, yeah, I'm back in Fleetwood to win this by 2-0. Now to Gareth Ainsworth Gillingham as they take on top of the table Crewe with maximum points so far. Gillingham ruined that for Chesterfield. Are they going to ruin it for Crewe? We'll have to wait and see. Gareth Ainsworth his side absolutely battered Chesterfield by 4-1 last night, didn't they? Last time these sides did play in League 2 was a 0-0 draw back in February, and then a 2-0 home win for Crewe. At their home ground, whatever that is called, I've forgotten it. So yeah, I think Crewe will be looking to continue their perfect start under Lee Bell so far this season. They've been very good at home at the Mournflake. Of course, that is what their ground is called. My bad. Yeah, Gillingham have been okay. They've grinded out a few draws in there. They haven't lost this season yet, so that's positive news for Gareth Ainsworth and his Gillingham side. I'm going to back a draw in this one. I think it'll be fairly tight. I'm going to go for a nice 1-1 draw. I think Gareth Ainsworth's sides are really, really hard to play against, and they will be here. And I think it's going to be a 1-1 draw at home to Crewe. And yeah, I think it'll be a scrappy, but I think it'll be a nice point for Gillingham. I think they'll take that against top of the table toppers Crewe. Harrogate versus Chesterfield. Now then, Harrogate Town will be looking to win this game as they went against Barrow in the week. Chesterfield getting absolutely tonked away at Gillingham last night, of course, before beating Bristol Rovers on the weekend in there as well. They drew 0-0 They drew 0-0 back in March, and then a 2-1 home win for Harrogate over Chesterfield in November 2024, of course. No donation for Chesterfield in this one. Their centre-back will be out. Exercise Stadium, this will be a tight one to call. I think Harrogate definitely could get over the line in this one. I think Chesterfield might have a bit too much quality. Paul Cook will want them to respond after that poor defeat to Gillingham midweek. What am I going to back in this one? I think I'm going to back Chesterfield just to get over the line in this one. I'm going to go for a nice 2-1 away win for the Spyrites in this one. No, not Spyrites. Spyrites for Chesterfield, sorry, in this one. And get a nice 2-1 away win for Chesterfield in this one over Harrogate. Now to Meadow Lane, where Notts County take on Bromley. Of course, Notts County having a horrible start under Martin Patterson. If they lose this one, I think he might be under a bit of pressure, and I could definitely see them losing it as well. Quickly dive into the head records. Draws are the most frequent in this 1-1 draw back in 25th of January, and a 4-2 win for Bromley over Notts County. There, Notts County lost 3 on the bounce. Salford, Wigan in the Cup, and Barrow away at the weekend. Horrible set of results. They do play tonight against Shrewsbury. Obviously, Friday, and when you're seeing this, you'll know the results of it. I do think they might win, but I don't think they're going to win against Bromley in this one, though. I think it might be a bit too tight for them. I'm going to back Bromley away from home. I'm going to back what do we back in this one? I'm going to back Bromley again. I'm going back another 2-1 away victory for the away side in this one. I think Notts County are really struggling this season. I think they need to maybe sack Martin Patterson. I know it's really early days, but I think they do. I'm going to back Bromley for an away win here, 2-1 away from home at Notts County. And then the final game in League 2 before we dive into League 1 predictions, and that is Swindon taking on Shrewsbury. That's right, Swindon losing to Barnet last night at home. Bit of an unfortunate result for Ian Holloway and his side, as they didn't really dominate that game at all in many respects. Barnet scored late on as well to remove any hope of an equaliser in that one. Shrewsbury did lose to Colchester. They've lost to Grimsby in the Cup. Swindon beat Oldham in the Cup, not in the Cup, in the league. They lost to Cardiff in the Cup and then beat Cambridge. Very inconsistent, are Swindon, a bit like what they were last season. Last time they played in League 1 was 1-0 away win for Shrewsbury at the county ground, of course, in Swindon. I'm going to back Swindon in this one over Shrewsbury. I think Shrewsbury look really, really poor this season. Could definitely slip into the National League if they aren't careful and don't sack Michael Appleton close enough. I'm going to back Swindon in this one. I'll go for a goal fest. Why not? 3-1, or a bit more of a goal fest than what I've predicted in some of the others. So yeah, back in Swindon to win this by 3-1 over Shrewsbury in this one. Into League 1 we go then, and it is Luton Town taking on Cardiff City. Two relegated sides from the Championship last year play each other early on in the League 1 season in August, of course, at 12:30 on the TV. This one on Sky Sports Plus. Luton winning last night 1-0 against Wigan Athletic. Friday, when you see this, of course, Bolton and Reddick haven't played. Please do note that. Cardiff also getting a scrappy 1-0 win over Wimbledon. Really struggled in the game. I watched a bit of that one, and they really struggled to break down Wimbledon and got a bit lucky in the end. Luton did lose to Bradford on Saturday, though. Cardiff battered Rotherham by 3-0. Last time they played was in the Championship was a 1-0 home win for Luton Town, and then back on the 11th of March was a 2-1 away win for Luton Town. They have a pretty good record against Cardiff in their last few matches. I think this will be a nice win for Matt Bluefield's side if they can get over the line in this one. A good win over Ryan Lowe's Wigan last night. So they'll be looking to build on that. I am going to back Luton in this one. I'm going to back another 1-0 scrappy home Luton win at Kenilworth Road and get the crowd rocking as always. So yeah, back in Luton to beat Cardiff by a 1-0 here. And then the other 12:30 kickoff is Rotherham United taking on Wigan Athletic. Rotherham United lost 3-0 to Cardiff City at the weekend, I believe. Was it the weekend? Yes, it was at the weekend. They didn't play this week because I think they went due to play Burton in the Cup, so that didn't work out. Wigan lost to Luton, so Rotherham might have a bit more fitness on them on that side. Wigan did beat Peterborough last Saturday as well. Last time they played last season was a 1-0 win on Boxing Day for Wigan at the New York Stadium, and then on Easter Monday was a 1-0 win for Wigan over Rotherham. So 1-0 wins respectively for Wigan in this one. But I can't see that happening this time around. Rotherham have had a not a great start under Matt Hamshaw, down in 17th spot at the moment. Bearing in mind, they do have a game in hand on most of the teams around them when they will play Burton, of course. Oliver Langford, referee championship, obviously had a crap week. Then he's been dropped down. Rotherham will win this. I'm going to go for a nice 2-1 home win for Rotherham United. I think they have to pick up some points somewhere, and I think they will do it against Ryan Lowe, even though they can be tricky customers, can Wigan Athletic, but I think Rotherham United will just get over the line in this one, 2-1. Into the 3 o'clockers then, and it is Wimbledon taking on Barnsley. Wimbledon really unlucky to lose at home to Cardiff City last night. Barnsley beating Peterborough, who look absolutely dreadful, by 1-0 in there as well. Did draw at home to Bolton on the weekend as well. Wimbledon did beat Reading by 2-1 at the weekend. Very good win for them after previously or later on in the week they did lose to Cardiff, which we already spoke about. Last time the sides did play was in the 1890 season. It was a 4-1 away win for Barnsley, 0-0 back at Oakwell, but it's been a long time since these sides have met in the league. They'll also meet on the 14th of February 2026. Barnsley should get over the line in this one. I'm just going to back the Tykes in this one. I think Wimbledon, or no, actually, I'm going to back a 1-1 draw. I think this will be actually quite a tight game of football. Barnsley didn't do really a lot to beat Peterborough last night. I think it was quite a scrappy win. But yeah, I'm going to back a 1-1 draw between Wimbledon and Barnsley in this one. I think it'd be tight. I think it'd be scrappy, but I think it'd be a 1-1 draw. Bolton take on Lincoln then at the Tough Sheet Community Stadium. Bolton drew against Barnsley last time out. They also play tonight against Reading. We don't know what they have done, so we can't really reflect on that too much. Lincoln got a nice win over Northampton, who look in real bother, don't they? I think some of their fans were quite confident coming into the season. But yeah, they're definitely not going to be that confident now, the way they have started. 4 losses out of 4 for North. I know 1 point in there, sorry, my bad. In there as well. Haven't started the worst out of all the teams in this league. Head-to-head record, 4-2 win for Lincoln back on Easter Monday, 29th of December, 3-0 win for Bolton. Yeah, I do. Lincoln have beaten Plymouth, they've beaten Northampton, they've beaten Harrogate in the Cup as well. Maybe it is a bit too soon to predict this, as we don't know what Bolton have done tonight. I am going to back Bolton Wanderers in this one, though. I think it'd be narrow. I think it'd be tight over Michael Scabala's side. I'm going to back a 2-1 home Bolton win over Michael Scabala and Lincoln, and Stephen Schumacher gets his side off to a decent start, as they will look to pick up points if they win tonight as well. They'd be back-to-back wins for them. So yeah, Bolton 2, Lincoln 1 here. Now to the Acu Stadium, where Huddersfield Town take on Stevenage. Got a bit lucky against Doncaster Rovers last night, did Huddersfield Town, but they'll be happy to get the win under Lee Grant nonetheless. Stevenage, perfect start, top of the table, 4 wins out of 4. Huddersfield, you could probably see their first, or Stevenage's first defeat coming in here. Alex Ravel's boys have been very, very good so far this season. 4 wins out of 4, winning every single game, including Blackpool, Rotherham, Northampton and Port Vale. Not the toughest start, you would have to say, probably for Stevenage, but they're still a good start nonetheless. So yeah, they'll be looking to beat Huddersfield here. They'll probably go there with a bit of confidence, considering they have went 4 on the trot. Last time they did play was 2-1 win for Huddersfield back on the 17th of August 2024 at the Acu Stadium, and then back at Stevenage was a 2-1 away win for Huddersfield. I'm not going to back that this time. I'm going to back a 1-1 draw. I think it'll be a tight game of football, this one. Huddersfield at home usually don't lose. Unless playing somebody like Birmingham, then they won't, which was last season, of course. But yeah, I'm going to back a 1-1 draw in this one. Stevenage on great form, Huddersfield are good at home. So yeah, 1-1 draw evens it out. So yeah, 1-1 draw in this one between Huddersfield and Stevenage. Mansfield take on Leyton Orient then at the One Call Stadium. Mansfield will be looking to win this one after their good result against Blackpool last night, and beating Exeter on Saturday was a good result for them. Leyton Orient themselves picked up a nice 1-0 win away at Home Park last night. What is going on at Plymouth Argyle? We'll speak about them shortly. Leyton Orient, last time they played last season was a 3-2 win away for Leyton Orient when they were on that playoff charge towards the back end of the season. 3-0 win for Leyton Orient on the 11th of February at their stadium. I think this will be a tough one. I think Leyton Orient might just get over the line. Mansfield are on some decent form under Nigel Clough, though. This is a tough one. This is a tough one to call. I'm actually going to back a 2-2. I think both sides will be quite free scoring in this one. I think it could be a bit of a goal fest, and that is why I'm going to back a Desmond. I'm going to back a 2-2 draw in this one between Mansfield and Leyton Orient. And yeah, a scrappy 2-2 or goal fest 2-2, whatever you want to call it. 2-2 between Mansfield and Leyton Orient, though. Now it's 1 point Northampton taking on Exeter City and Gary Caldwell at Sixfields, of course. Northampton haven't had the best start, only 1 point, and that was in a 0-0 draw against Bradford. They've lost all the others to Wigan, Stevenage and Lincoln City. Not ideal for Northampton, considering they should be at least getting a few points off those teams. Exeter City, very, very good win last night. I think it was Galamata's own goal in that one from Grimmer that gave Exeter all 3 points over Mike Dodds' side. Wickham have started terribly. We'll jump onto them shortly as well. Last time they played in League One last season was a 2-1 win for Northampton on the 17th of August. Weird that, because I think some of the game, I think it was the Huddersfield game, was on the same match day last season, of course. First match was a 1-1 draw. This screams a 0-0, and I'm going to back it. I'm going to back Northampton 0, Exeter 0 here. I just think it'll be an abysmal game of football, to be honest. I think it will be a 0-0 draw between these two sides. Northampton 0, Exeter 0 in this one. So yeah, a ball fest in terms of no goal action in this one for me. And now, dreadful Darren Ferguson and Peterborough take on a very, very informed Bradford City, who are flying under Graham Alexander after beating Stockport County last night and Luton Town at the weekend, and Blackburn in the cup. They are on absolute fire, Bradford City, up in 4th place in the table at the moment. Haven't lost yet under Graham Alexander, knows how to get them playing football. 3-1 win for Bradford last time these sides played in 9th of March 2019, so a good win there. FA Cup they did play. Peterborough won that on penalties after a replay twice. League One, 1-1 draw, and Peterborough won at Bradford. This one takes place at the Western Home Stadium. I think Bradford are going to win this again. I think Peterborough look absolutely dreadful at the moment. I am going to back Bradford in this one to get a nice 2-1 away win at the Western Home Stadium and win this over Peterborough United. And more doom and gloom for Darren Ferguson and Peterborough. 2-1 win for Bradford here. Now it is two teams that are really out of form and have started the season terribly and are underachieving a little bit, and that is Plymouth and that is Blackpool. Plymouth did lose to Leyton Orient last night. It'll be on Friday. You'll be watching this, so midweek. Mansfield beat Blackpool as well, so both sides did lose midweek. Blackpool did get a decent win over Huddersfield Town, though, in that one. So, yeah, they'll be looking to do a lot better. Plymouth did also lose to Lincoln as well. Last time these sides played in League One was a 1-0 win for Plymouth at Home Park, and then back at Bloomfield Road was a 2-2 draw. And then the rest, Plymouth are just abysmal. Haven't even got a point on the board so far this season. Surely they get a point on the board this season. This upcoming weekend, sorry. They're at home. They need to get something on the board that they lose to Leyton Orient, though. I think this could have an absolute goal fest in it. This is going to be bonkers. I'm going 3-3 in this one. This is going to be absolute crazy game of football. And I think Plymouth 3, Blackpool 3 in this one. That'll be an absolutely crazy game of football. So yeah, I think 3-3, an absolute bonkers game. Both defences are crap. So yeah, that's why I've gone Plymouth 3, Blackpool 3. Port Vale take on Doncaster at Vale Park. Then Port Vale will be looking to win this after their disappointing defeat to Stevenage last night. Stevenage with 2 quick goals in the 88th and 91st minute and a very good away late win for them. Huddersfield did beat Doncaster. Doncaster got a bit unlucky in that game. Grant McCann's side is still a very, very good side away from home. I know what they're well organised as well. Last time they did play was in League Two. It was a 3-2 away win for Doncaster at Vale Park. Back at Doncaster was a 2-1 win away for Vale. So yeah, the away side does like this fixture a lot. Doncaster might get over the line against Darren Moore's side in this one. Put Vale very unlucky to lose that game yesterday against Stevenage, as we've previously spoken. I think this will be a tight one. I'm going to back a 1-1 draw in this one. I think it'll be fairly tight between these two sides. And yeah, I think Doncaster will be slight favourites as the away side in this one going into it. But yeah, I think a 1-1 draw is a safe bet in this one. Into the penultimate game of the match week, and it's Stockport County taking on Burton Albion. Of course, Stockport losing to Bradford in midweek. Big shock for Stockport County at Edgeley Park this week, where they are usually so good at home, aren't they? Burton did draw up Tranmere, but then and also won on penalties, so they are in the next round of the FL Cup and will be playing. I'm not sure who they'll be playing next week, but Lincoln. So they won't really care about that too much. Apart from that, Burton didn't really do a lot. Drew 0-0 at the weekend, lost 3-2 to Barnsley in there. Bradford beat Stockport, 2-2 draw. Stockport haven't won in 2 matches, Leyton Orient and Bradford, of course, last time they did win was home to Crewe in the Carabao Cup, and before that was away at Wickham. Stockport get back to winning ways here, 3-1, I think. Yeah, quite simple over Gary Bowyer's side. Stockport continue that playoff push, or maybe automatic push, whatever their hopes are for this season. So yeah, Stockport 3, Burton 1 in this one. And then the final game in the match week, and it is Wickham taking on Reading. A horrible start for both of these sides. Reading do play tonight away at Bolton, so we don't really know what they've done. Wickham have lost to Exeter City last night in a really unfortunate own goal, as we previously spoke about when we were talking about Exeter. Doncaster they drew against. They've only beaten Leyton Orient, and that was in the cup. It's been a horrible start for Mike Dodds' Wickham. It's currently sitting down in 20th after 4 games. Horrible start for Wickham Wanderers. Maybe they need to change coach. Mike Dodds' football is really negative. It's a horrible way to play football. I don't know what I'm going to go for a prediction in this game. I think the last times these sides did play was a 1-1 draw back in December 2024, and Reading did beat Wickham on the 5th of April last year. What do we go for? Wickham win? No, I think this will be tight. I think it'll be another 1-1 draw. I think Noel Hunt's side quite defensive. They haven't had the best start, but yeah, I think Wickham will struggle in this one. So yeah, I'm back in a 1-1 draw between Wickham and Reading in this one. I think it'll be scrappy, but I think it would just be a ball draw. Thank you very much for watching my League 1 and League 2 Game Week 3, 4, 5, whatever game we were on, for Game Week 5 predictions. If you did like the video, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, do all of that good stuff. I'll speak to you on the next one, which I don't know what will be. It might be an EFL review short, because Monday I will be travelling, I believe, all day. So yeah, it might be League 2 predictions next one you see me on. But yeah, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, do all that good stuff, and I'll speak to you on the next one.